All right, pre-show shenanigans. The other day I was bringing up, it's really hot out in LA, really sunny. I felt like that might have contributed to some fatigue in a way, but like actually now it's looking kind of like some May, June LA weather. It's really gloomy. I've like had to spend all morning just banging these out. What the fuck, Everett? Everett, cover that logo.
That's on me.
Everett,
that's on
that
me.
shit. Everett, no
that's on
free
me.
ads.
No free ads. That's on me. That's on me.
Everett, the people know what you're drinking. At least for me, they gotta look a little.
You know
close.
what? Y'all can see my nutrition facts.
Twice. What am I?
You can
drinking?
see my nutrition facts. You can see my nutrition facts. All right. It's all you gotta see.
You're getting a long email today from the intern. You know that, right?
Well, you know what?
That, right? You know what? Expect it when it's coming.
I'm expecting it, but our unnamed intern is going to be getting a.
He's editing this episode, right? He's the first This is the first thing he's going to see. You already fucking up our potential brand deal with Sobe Life. Okay, you're already, and I might have just fucked that up by announcing who we're potentially partnering with.
No, you fucked it up because they are not actually the ones that we're partnering with. That was in the email that came out today.
That was the fucking that was the trick. God damn it!
Now that was not the point. But when the intern emails me,
you didn't read the email.
You didn't read the email.
No. You read the first email. You didn't read the forwarded second email. No, you didn't.
There was a forwarded email. Okay, was it Eric or was it Johnny?
All right, we gotta cut the. We gotta cut. Okay, Everett, we don't have time for this. We don't have time for this shit right now.
Okay, look. Here's the real pre-show.
I'm not drinking bedroll right now. I'm not. Okay.
Here's the real pre-show of today. The unnamed intern and I will be having some words later. So for the last couple of days in New Orleans, all right, it's been real hot. It's been real hot. It was so hot today. It feels like 115 degrees this entire week. Keep in mind, we have outdoor practices during this. I am at work at about 5 a.m., 5:30. It is 5:45, and my entire body's covered in sweat.
Okay. I want to start off. Okay. How long will this humidity last for? Like,
literally until like maybe mid-September, October.
Okay. So you know how in LA there aren't seasons, right? Is there a winter in New Orleans?
It does get cold. It definitely gets cold, but it's not like LA at all. Like it's basically summer here. Like okay.
Like 10 months.
There are seasons. I say seasons in quotations here because summer is its own
feel like
thing.
Fall looks really lit.
Fall and winter, like there's the seasons like here. The seasons here are not necessarily like normal seasons. Summer's blistering heat, humidity.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't know anything about normal seasons. But
fall, there's a stark contrast between summer and fall, and there's kind of a mid-season between them where it's kind of like gets a little bit colder, but there's still a couple days where it's humid, kind of deal. Fall is like warm, cold. That's like LA weather. Winter, it can get cold here sometimes. Like it's getting like 50, 45 at night. Spring is just rain. There's nothing. It's just rain. And then there's summer. Yeah. That's like the seasons in New Orleans.
Yeah. So I would say, like, if I'm trying to think of. Okay. Thank you. You might have subtly just like answered this real quick, but like, what's the worst time of the year? Worst time? Is it right now?
Yeah, it's right now.
Okay.
No, it's right now. August is literally the worst month physically possible for New Orleans.
So like would the biggest punishment your coaches could give you is like practice has been moved to noon or 1 p.m.? Like, is that essentially the biggest punishment you could have?
That's literally a
death
hazard.
sentence?
No, like that's a literal
the NCAA does not allow that.
Yeah, we would have to have an
You're
ambulance
not
on
authorized to
standby.
practice between
No.
these hours.
We are literally legally obligated to not have practice.
Yeah, actually, by the
during
state of Louisiana, you're not allowed
we are
to
legally
be
not allowed to
outside
do that.
during the hours of 11 a.m. to 3:30 p.m.
No, seriously, it is like the you know how you see the little heat waves in the summer, right? Like you can see it off the concrete and whatever. It is not even 7 a.m. in the morning, and I look out on the field, seeing the little heat waves coming off. I'm like, dude, it's way too early for this.
I
It's
was
6:30
saying,
in the morning.
So with the conference realignment moving around, a lot of new Big Ten country has been talking some shit on Twitter, of course, naturally. I just want to start off with this. Did you know that USC has a winning record against every single team in the Big Ten?
Yeah, you know who they
No, I know. We're not here to talk about it. I'm about to shit on USC fans in a second. But
I'm not surprised by
USC
that, actually.
fans were now commenting like Big Ten like players fans when they like have to play in LA in September and they're just like staring at the sun being down on them. I just want to say this, like, all right, I bitch about this a lot last year, so I can't really be one to talk, but like it's not that hot. And like it is hot.
It's LA hot.
But it's not the depressing fatigue hot that you get in humidity.
New Orleans.
Like it's hot.
This is also what I'll say.
It's a dry heat. And
this is also what I will say.
Were you saying that you actually kind of like humidity more than the dry heat, or were you just
no. I like the dry heat way more than humidity.
Okay,
humidity.
It might have been
humidity.
Chad might have just been saying he's used to
humidity is the most disgusting thing physically possible with heat. What I will say though, for us, it's advantageous to us because we practice in this the whole summer. Yeah. Then for endurance, for conditioning, all the stuff, it is great.
It's like a built-in
and
Denver
then,
altitude.
On top of that, when we have teams come down here who do not play in
big advantage.
We also have the Miami Dolphins kind of a home setup advantage. That entire sideline,
all sun,
straight sun, murder. It is.
I love that, by the way.
So bad.
If there's going to be one positive takeaway from Hard Rock Cafe Stadium, it is that design. Like I'm going to guess John Ruiz had something to do with that design, but like that shit's smart.
I should also note that's at least in the mornings. If it's like late afternoons, the sun does kind of more so set onto us, which sucks a little bit, but
it's not as bad when it's
not as bad as blistering heat. No.
Like when it's noon, like bodies will be dropping. Heat fatigue.
Yeah, like, it's not good.
Like, yeah, okay.
It's not good.
Okay. So I like now, we can this could be the last little thing. So like recently, people have tried to come after. I believe it was Nebraska. I think I have the team wrong, but they were coming after a team. Minnesota. They're coming after Fleck for rowing the boat for punishing his players with exercise. PJ Fleck, you're not in the wrong. There's no problem with punishing players by exercise, in my opinion. I've been punished by exercise quite a bit in my life. May or may not have contributed to an early retirement from me in my football career. No comment, no further comment on that. But yeah, okay. All right. Time to get into the show. Bad clap. Gotta do that again. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Waterboy Podcast. Today is episode 142. 42, special number, big number. Not crazy amount of news today, but there's some things to discuss today. Everett, the Prem is back. NCAA is officially coming out next summer. That is confirmed until it gets revealed in a month that it's going to get delayed again. But for now, it's coming back. The Manziel doc just dropped. Ever got to see it? I didn't, but I don't care. We're going over the whole thing today. Jonathan Taylor is now just not showing up to camp anymore. And Kareem Hunt, is he a Saint? Is he a Colt? As a Jonathan Taylor and Kareem Hunt dynasty owner, let's bring him to Indy. But yeah, could you imagine though, just how lucky it is that I just happened to take Kareem Hunt near the end with Jonathan Taylor if he does go to Indy? Like, that's just a prayer.
I'd also just like to state, by the way, your clap was not picked up by the mic. So
Oh, they never get picked up. I was just saying for
kind of
me
partially
personally.
get picked up.
Really?
Yeah,
For the
sometimes.
most part, whenever I go back, the claps never pick up, which kind of pisses me off because whenever Big Cat does his clap at the start, it always picks up, and that kind of pisses me
Yeah,
off. But
it's a different
regardless,
kind of mic. It's a different kind of mic.
Everett, if you don't mind, I did this last year, and it ended up resulting in my first ever Premier League fantasy
I'll entertain it.
championship.
I will
So
allow it. It was
can I
in the
get
debrief this
120
morning.
seconds? Just 120 seconds.
Would you like it to be timed?
If you would like to do that, sure, I'm willing to do a challenge.
Okay. All right.
So
100, 122. You got 2 minutes.
Yes,
3,
120 seconds.
2.
And we're done.
1.
Probably won't talk about this again for months, but
Go.
So starting off this year, we got to keep Holland in. Last year, I wanted to go with a threemium setup with 3 big name players. This year, I'm going with just 1 premium, just Holland. I actually think I'm going to captain Holland every single week this year. I don't see any reason not to. So with that logic, I'm going no Salah this year. Okay. I'm going the basic Raptor template right now. Shout out FPL Raptor. You're the GOAT. Actually, kind of the reason I won my league last year, and big man Bakar. The midfield, this could be the midfield of dreams, boys. Bruno and Rashford for Man U. Bruno had such a higher expected goals last year. It was probably the most unlucky season I've ever seen when it came from a points total. Bruno's going to easily hit 200 points next year. So I love Bruno. I actually like him more than Rashford. In terms of Arsenal, no Gabriel Jesus. He's out. So I'm going Saka and Martinelli, but I'm thinking of maybe fading the Martinelli pick. I don't know why I'm feeling it, but I kind of like the idea of going Matoma there from Brighton. But right now, I am looking at a Bruno, Martinelli, Rashford, Saka, still depending on the 5th midfielder. But we're going to start off with a 3-5-2 template, potentially 4-4-2. We'll see what happens. But I'm like at 100 seconds, right? That's all I had, though.
You're at 90.
Well, that's all I had, even quicker than 2 minutes. That was the Premier League breakdown. Last thing I want to say, I don't have a team name yet. So if any of you guys can think of like a funny team name to just like banter with all the Brits, comment in the comment section below. I will take all suggestions. I need to troll them. So yeah, that's it. Last year I trolled them with USA will beat England in the World Cup, and we beat them. Like that draw, we won the shit out of that draw. We won the shit out of that draw. Like us drawing England, like that was a win for us.
That was probably our biggest like national accomplishment of last year.
Oh my God. Yeah, it was. Tying England.
Tying England.
0-0 game was the biggest national like athletic accomplishment our country achieved last year.
Oh, that's kind of sad.
It's either that or Brooks. Does Brooks have what? No, just 1 major this year. I was about to say Brooks.
Kepka?
Yeah, just one. He just won 1 major this year, right? Not 2.
Oh, I don't even know if he.
I know he won 1. I know. I don't know what it was. I know.
It was not Brooks Kepka. It was.
No. Brooks won 1 this year.
I don't know. My dimple knowledge is
I mean, we are massive dimple heads over here on the pod. But yeah, I mean, I gotta get this, and like I know, yeah, he won the 2023 PGA Championship.
Okay. Ricky Fowler also won though. We got that too. He won 1. So there's that too. Anyways, yeah, not gonna bore y'all with some golf knowledge right now. It's not the only time they'll ever come up is Masters, or if Tiger Woods is
massive NBA news. Everett, let's dive into it right now. Derek Fisher has been hired as the head coach of Crespi Carmelite, my rival high school. I'm kidding.
We're joking, right? You're you actively are gonna make me want to like just.
No, I just think it's like I just want to say I'm pretty sure Derek Fisher like was like either assistant or head coach for like the Knicks for like a month, and now he's doing high school. I just thought it was funny.
I don't know. It's like Josh McCown. He's like Josh McCown.
Whoa. Don't ever disrespect Derek Fisher like that, comparing him to McCown. Okay, Derek Fisher, that is a Laker legend right there. We can't.
He is a Laker legend.
Put D Fish down like that. He's got 5 rings. Okay, we can't do that. We can't do that.
It's like Steve Kerr.
Minus the 3-point ball, like really, like I mean,
minus
literally the biggest arc, maybe the most arc on a shot in NBA history, and it's a very stark comparison to Kobe's line drive shots, but like anyway.
Okay, let's get into MLB real quick. This is going to be a fun segment for Grant and I don't say that ironically. I literally mean we're going to have a blast with this. And you know who's not going to have a blast with this segment? Padre fans.
They're already not having a blast.
Oh no, they're never having they have temporary blast, and it always ends in sadness, and it's one of my favorite things. We said last year, Padre fans, how does it feel that the Dodgers are your daddy? And once again, I bring it back. Padre fans, how does it feel that the Dodgers are your daddy? So like, first thing,
you can go. Keep going.
First thing is actually going to be a non-Dodgers related jab at the Padres. I don't know if you want to say what you're saying before I say this or after.
No. Let's get this.
Let's get it out.
What are you gonna bring up? Let's get it out. More related.
Okay.
To the
all right.
Situation.
So Logan Gilbert, who's a pitcher for the Mariners and the Padres played. I believe it was yesterday. Okay. It would be 2 days ago as of the 10th when this is uploaded of August. Yeah. Logan Gilbert is the first right-handed pitcher to ever strike out Juan Soto 3 times in a single game. So the one thing that Juan Soto is particularly known for, getting contact hits, especially versus right-handed pitcher.
And low chase rate, low whiff rate. He does not strike out.
Just remember, Padres,
the best discipline in baseball. So
just remember, Padres, how much you gave up to get Juan Soto, not just for his fielding ability, but for his batting ability.
Oh, he's not a good fielder. They did not acquire him for the fielding ability.
Well, it's the Padres, all right? Maybe they need. But for his batting abilities, all right, you got him to hit. How does it feel that the season that you thought you were going to be a World Series contender, the dude that you gave up everything to help you get there, just had his worst appearance technically ever at the plate?
Well, but also what I want to really highlight is how awful Bogarts and Machado have been this year, and Tatis. Fun fact of the day, Everett. Did you know that Jason Hayward has a higher OPS than Bogarts, Machado, and Tatis this year? Jason Hayward.
I did not know that, but that is amazing.
Our platoon outfielder has a higher OPS than Juan Soto, in my opinion, still their most dangerous hitter, but 3 of their 4 most dangerous hitters. So
that's amazing.
I mean, the things have not been going great for San Diego. Darvish hasn't been looking great this year. Snell has really picked it up recently. I know, like, in their bullpen, Hader's been amazing this year. Only issue is he just doesn't get many save opportunities because the Padres aren't winning late.
Yeah, you know what they should have done?
Late, the lead's massive. And
Hader should have been traded realistically, but it's the Padres.
So I mean, I'm not trying to help the Padres out. Like AJ Preller, stop listening right now. Don't get any ideas. But Hader's not going to be on this team soon. He's going to be gone. Snell's going to be gone. Soto might also be gone, and he might be a Dodger if Shohei doesn't come. So, like, right now, if I'm the Padres, I'd kind of be like, we have to sell a little bit. I'm not saying sell Soto this year, but like at minimum, Snell and Hader had to have gone because you can get so much in return for that. A lefty starter and lefty reliever, 2 of the best lefty starters or relievers on the market. And the odds are they're not re-signing. So get rid of them. Go boost up your farm system, which you just gave away to get Juan Soto. So you need to go rebuild that.
Let's talking about pitchers. Let's talk about one Padres pitcher in specifics
Seth
here.
Lugo.
Yeah.
Seth Lugo, a former Mets man. Frank the Tank has some pretty strong opinions on him as well. But Seth Lugo had some interesting quotes over the weekend. So on Monday, I'm not sure if you got to see the game. It was going on during the day, but during the day, 4-game series, kind of a weird setup where we played the 4th game on a Monday. The series ended on a Monday, kind of weird. But for this series on that Monday game, Padres went up 4-0 in the 2nd or 3rd inning. I
believe this is while we were recording the previous, but last episode, literally.
Yes.
This was while we were recording that episode.
When we started recording, we took the lead already. Mookie.
We had just gotten that homer by Mookie, yeah.
But Mookie helped drop an 8-run inning, I believe in the 3rd or the 4th, to go up 8-4.
Yes.
Or 8-5. 8-5, my bad. To go up 8-5 over the Padres. Seth Lugo, after the game, obviously he was going to get questions from reporters. You just blew a 5-run lead. Like, how do you feel? Like, obviously you're going to get asked questions. And Seth Lugo said, well, this is an exact quote, but from the article, Seth Lugo believes his rivals, the Los Angeles Dodgers, were stealing his signs in his 13-7 loss on Monday at Petco Park. It was a rough outing for Lugo, who gave up 8 earned runs, all in the 4th inning, over 3 1/3 innings of work. It was in that 4th inning when Lugo and other Padres were, quote, suspicious of the Dodgers on stealing signs, with the veteran starter calling it Bush League. Shortly afterwards, Padres manager Bob Melvin said he didn't have an issue with the matter and sees no problem with the Dodgers allegedly picking up signs. Quote from the Padres manager, every team does it. Every single team. That was his quote. So the suspicion is that runners on second base in the 4th inning were relaying pitches to the batters based on how Lugo was gripping the ball. Everett, I'm not sure if you remember this. But Kenley Jansen was notorious at the end of his time with the Dodgers that he was so self-conscious that the runner on second would steal his signs that he would balk and move the runner over to third so he couldn't steal his signs, okay? Stealing signs from second base is a part of the game. When you're a pitcher on the mound and there's a guy on second, guess what your biggest concern is? Oh, yeah, he has now the easiest chance of stealing.
You know what the easiest solution to that problem is? Don't let them get to second.
Don't let them. That and hide the pitches. It's crazy. It's a crazy.
Oh my God, it's crazy
concept. I know. It's fucking absurd. Like how? But I mean, if you're throwing a fastball and a curveball, like, I mean, how can you not tip, right? Well, guess what? Every MLB pitcher by now, if you are obviously tipping pitches still, guess what? You're not in the MLB. Okay.
Now let's also clarify this for the Padres fans out there. All right, let's clarify this one for the Padres fans. Seth Lugo complaining about sign stealing. Right, this is not banging on trash cans, trash throws. This is not using film. This is not any of that.
Yeah, we're not saying camera in center field.
This is literally his own fault.
Yeah,
he is at fault for having this happen, and like, is complaining about it.
So, like, if he was complaining that there was a camera, that's a whole different accusation. But he's not saying that. He's saying that, like, yeah, when they had runners on second, they were looking at what pitches I was about to throw. Dude, that's a part of baseball. When you get on set, if you are ever a base runner on second base and you are not trying to steal signs and relay to the batter what's coming, your manager is going to be fucking pissed. Your manager is going to be pissed off at you. Why aren't you helping your teteammate?
You remember the commercial in like 2008? It was like a
coach,
a rip off.
I touched the ball.
Rip of Chris Paul, and they're like, all right, we're getting the inbound. There's 1 second left. This is for the win.
It is that,
coach. I touched the ball, man.
I touched the ball. It's their ball.
I touched the ball, coach.
It's like, Marcus, like, don't fucking tell them it's their ball.
Coach is like, fuck, Marcus, damn.
No, I think they had the coach like, you know what, Marcus?
No. He was like, respect.
Or something. Like,
dude, there's no shot after the game. He was like, dude, what the actual fuck was that?
Maybe in lower school YMCA basketball.
Yeah.
It might be a good
Not
move,
in high school.
If you ever did that in high school, your coach is benching your ass for the rest of the fucking season. All right, like for the season, you're not playing.
There are gentlemen agreements. There is sportsmanship, but that's not the way baseball. Like, that's not how it works.
You know, like I was trying to figure out, like, it isn't like when Tatis hit that home run on the 3-0 count with bases loaded and they were up by 8. Like, when you have a massive lead, like, don't steal, don't swing on 3-0. Like, those unwritten rules, those make sense. And a lot of those are literally because pitchers have feelings and you can't hurt their feelings. That's why most of these unwritten rules are in effect, to like protect the pitcher's feelings. But when it comes to tipping pitches, but I remember earlier in the season, there was some Angels pitcher tipping pitches, and you could see Mike Trout in center field picking up that his pitcher was tipping pitches and telling him, stop.
Yes, I remember that.
Like,
I remember that. I think it was a reliever.
All I'm saying, I bet, I guarantee that Soto, Tatis, and Machado were like, that was so Bush League of the Dodgers. But I bet that Blake Snell, I bet that Cronenworth, I bet that Bogarts, I bet that all those other guys that aren't the little diva piece of shit are all sitting there like, dude, you were tipping pitches. You fucked up. Don't do that shit again. Like, if the clubhouse reaction was to support Lugo and be like, yeah, Lugo's right, they shouldn't steal our tipped pitches, then that's just a bad club. Like, they should be getting on Lugo's ass right now. Like, dude, you tipped pitches and now you're bitching about it, bro. Like, I would be heated right now if I was like Snell. I'd be heated.
Oh, so, no, I'd be like, dude, they literally, if I was Snell, I'd be like, dude, this happens to me half the time. I'm not bitching about it. Like, and then I go and fix it and I hide my pitches. Like, dude,
don't tip your pitcher. Like,
it's not hard. He's been a pitcher in the MLB for what, 6 years?
I think Lugo's like
7, 8,
mid-30s, early 30s. So like, he's been pitching for a long time.
You should know that. Like, I understand you lost the game and you're like, you're just trying to find something to blame. You're being dude.
He's in year 8.
Blame yourself. You should know way better than this. It is not like the quarterbacks in the NFL where it's the rules are meant to protect them. That's not how it works. The MLB also this year, per your conspiracy, the juiced dead ball conspiracy, this is a juiced ball year. The MLB wants them to steal your signs. They want them to steal your pitches. All right.
Yeah, I mean, there are some big name starters available, and I'm still under the impression that juice ball, and I also, it might not necessarily be juice ball. Like, I do think that the pitch clock, one thing that I'm just thinking about is that before the pitch clock, the pitcher had complete control over the timing and everything having to do with the at bat. It was all up to the pitcher. You know, at the end of the day, Soto can do his little nut grab, Soto shuffle all he wants, but at the end of the day, Soto's waiting on the pitcher.
You mean the patented unnamed intern grab.
That as well. But I mean, we don't want to reveal too much about his tendencies. You know, we're not trying
to. Well, we've already had a conversation about this with his basketball abilities.
True. Pulling out every time he's shooting. But anyway, we're not here to make fun of him. We are here to talk about Padres. I don't even fucking remember what I was talking about.
We're talking about the pitchers having control of the game.
Oh, yeah. So, okay. Like, before the pitch clock, like, everything's up to the pitcher. Like, it is, the pitcher determines when the at-bat starts. He determines the pace of everything. And now, in a way, the batter determines the at-bat. In a way. Where, like, a lot of the times, I'm not sure if you've noticed this, but this is something my brother and I were kind of thinking about when it comes to Freddie Freeman. Like, he has the most stolen bases in his career right now, and this is our theory why. So with the pitch clock, like, from a Freddie Freeman perspective, like from a player's perspective, like, and you're on base or you're fielding, like, they can see the pitch clock too. Like, it's just in their vision. And so when it comes to like a Freddie Freeman on first, that pitch clock, because most pitchers, they will use the full 15 seconds. The second it hits 1 second, they'll lift their leg up and start their wind up. Freddie Freeman, the second that clock hits 1 second, he'll start his steal. So the steal timing now, you just look at the clock, and the second it's 1 second, go. Like, that's how they do it now.
For real though,
And like, the thing though is, it's like, obviously, if the pitcher is planning on picking off, you're going to get out. But if he isn't, you will have the best jump you can possibly get. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, in a way, it's like a D end where you know it's on one and you go off sound. Like, that's a big advantage. Like, in a way, that's kind of what it is. So Freddie Freeman, in my opinion, the pitch clock, well, not just Freddie Freeman, but another reason why stolen bases are up, in addition to the larger bases, letting them be able to slide in easier and take a larger lead from the original bag. But I'd also say the pitch clock, just knowing that they have to pitch at 1 or 0 seconds and you get a good jump, I think that's a big reason why steals are up too.
No, I guarantee you that's the case. And also, like, there's so many other factors too. That's just,
yeah, there's so many things involved right now. I just, in terms of the pitch clock, I think there's some other, I guess, unintended outcomes or effects that happen from that people weren't exactly looking at. But I think that's enough on the MLB, enough on
let's get into college football.
To complain. So okay,
let's get into some college football. Let's start with your list. Because there isn't much news to go off of, and I do have a point we'll talk about. The good transition segment. Summer, the good transition segment will be the Manziel doc. So we'll do that after this. But here, give us your list.
Head coach rankings. I just want to say this isn't like a going into week one. This is a holistic view. Okay, I'm literally looking at their whole coaching careers, what they've been able to do with the production or players they have, or what they've been able to build or sustain based on what they had coming into the job. But it's a holistic view here. Like, at the end of the day, it's not just about on-field results. That's primarily what this is focused on. Don't get me wrong, but who you're hiring at OC and DC, like, that'll matter a little bit. How you've been able to recruit over time, like, that's going to matter a little bit, or how you've been able to perform with a lack of recruiting and just kind of like a lack of resources compared to other schools. Those will also be factored into this, but this isn't an entering week one list. Just want to get that out there. But Everett, you want to go 1 to 10 or 10 to 1? What are you thinking?
Everybody knows who 1 is.
I mean, in my opinion, it's obvious who number 1 is, but some of those fans from
let's start 1. Let's do what? Let's put it this way. Do you feel like there's more likely people will click off going 1 to 10 or 10 to 1?
I'm not entirely sure from that angle, but I do think that we will get more comments if we go 1 to 10.
Let's do 1 to 10.
Okay. All right. So, top 10 head coaches in college football for the 2023 season. Not week 1. No, fuck that last part. Top 10 head coaches in college football. Done. Nick Saban, Kirby Smart, Dabo Swinney, Jim Harbaugh, Ryan Day, Lincoln Riley, Brian Kelly, Willie Fritz, Kyle Whittingham, and Luke Fickell. Now, the Kyle Whittingham, this is where I was getting a little dicey, a little confused. I was considering throwing Jay Frank on there, but James Franklin realistically has just underperformed so much at Penn State.
So who I cannot say I know who Kyle Whittingham is.
Utah head coach.
Okay, now I got you. I'm not gonna lie, I have not paid much attention to Utah outside of
that's
2 games.
I mean, I bet most people are not aware that Utah's head coach is named.
Can you? Who are everybody's teams? We have Bama.
We got Bama, Georgia, Clemson, Michigan, Ohio State, USC, LSU, Tulane, Utah, and Wisconsin. Now,
no Sonny Dykes, no TCU.
No.
Interesting.
No Dykes.
He did well at SMU though.
Yeah, no, okay. I'll be honest. Yes. Not like, I know your opinion on SMU, so I'm not gonna talk about but
well, I think it's a little bit different
considering
right now.
that they did get DP'd and like they literally have never recovered, and like now they had what, like a 10-win season under him.
Yeah, and then I think he jumped.
That is way above expectations from what you'd assume from
so
him.
You still don't think,
I think those other
that,
coaches have done better jobs as what they have, or let's say I were an AD of a brand new college and I get my pickings of head coaches, I'd pick those names over him.
Even with TCU, I know they got blown out, but they did make the Natty last year with no expectations.
Graham Riley. Now he's Dabo's.
But technically, that was his hiring. That was the Dykes hiring.
It was his hiring. It was.
So, I mean, that's a plus.
Keep him though, because
it's a little bit more difficult.
Bigger and brighter.
A little bit more difficult. Yeah. Okay.
I'd say that overall, if there's any qualms that I'm just gonna get out ahead of, I can see some pushback on the Kyle Whittingham, but look at what Utah's done with just the lack of recruiting ability and the lack of resources they have in those departments. Look at what Utah's been able to do. Like, they're literally consistently been ranked top 15 in rankings like for the past 3 seasons, essentially. Like, what Kyle Whittingham has done at Utah is unbelievable. And as an Ohio State USC fan, I know it very well. I've matched up with them many times since COVID. So I know Utah well. I'm going to give them their respect here. Don't get me wrong. If there's going to be some other pushback on this list, I can see Brian Kelly potentially getting some pushback at 7, but I just want to say, like,
pushback for being too high or too low?
Too high, I think. Some people might be saying he's too high. Also, to be fair, and for very good reason, there's just a lot of Notre Dame haters, so I understand. But like, Brian Kelly was at a disadvantage, like, at Notre Dame. Like, I know Notre Dame is like a hotspot destination, like, place for a coach. Like, Urban Meyer literally has said, like, his dream job is to coach Notre Dame. Like, he said that on record multiple times. Not Ohio State, not Florida, not the NFL. Notre Dame is his dream job. But like, it's harder to recruit at Notre Dame than LSU.
Yeah, because it's also in the middle of nowhere, and it's a very religious institution. Not everybody wants to go play for those
factors. Like, I know that Notre Dame and Michigan, they've like lost out on some kids from the transfer portal who literally were not admitted to the school. They didn't have good enough grades. Like, Caleb Love was going to play for Michigan. Michigan admission said doesn't have a good enough GPA.
Imagine you're the admissions officer that has to go up to your head coach and be like,
you think Juwan Howard liked that? Juwan might have had another punch. We might have not seen this time though, but
yeah,
I wouldn't be happy.
You're the school's president.
Lose out on Hunter Dickinson. I'm about to get Caleb Love, but now the school's like, sorry, grades aren't good enough. I'd be heated.
I would be mad. I'd be so mad.
So mad. But that might just confirm the rumor that like all North Carolina basketball players don't go to class and they just have tutors do their shit for them. Like, that's been a rumor.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you think Zion was taking classes at Duke? Fuck no, man.
He was actually.
About the league, he was. And worried about his knees.
I do actually know that he was at classes because you're in my year going into it. I toured Duke, and the big thing that they were talking about for Duke is like, yeah, all of our athletes.
For our tour, you get to sit in on a class with Zion.
Literally. Like, my tour guy was like, yeah, like, I took like some basic freshman entry class with Zion this year. I'm like,
I'll be honest though, Duke, they do just get the most lit prospects every year. Like, I would be bragging if I was taking a class of like Zion or like Jason Tatum or like Kyrie. Like, yeah, I'd be bragging my ass off. But okay. Yeah, that's what I had on football. Real quick, NCAA football, it's not going to come back next summer. That's cap.
Well, no. You know what? Happy thoughts. It will be here next summer. All right. I mean, and maybe it even gets advanced. All right.
The game was supposed to release like a month ago.
Happy thoughts.
But correct me if I'm wrong. Am I wrong?
Happy thoughts.
All right. Happy thoughts. That answers the question if I was
happy thoughts. All right. Transition segment. Okay. Johnny Manziel documentary. All right. First thing that I want to talk about with this. All right. And I texted you about this yesterday. 2012 in college football might be one of the most, if not the most elite entertainment season at least from now standpoint, that we have had in a
the
long,
media
long
had a
time.
field day that
Between
year.
Manti Te'o's fake girlfriends and his Heisman caliber year, Johnny Manziel's whole cover up and everything that has clearly gone
And also
behind the
just like Notre
scenes.
Dame just kind of getting back on the map that year.
You specifically said Ohio State suspension. There's a
Urban
lot
Meyer's
of things.
First year at Ohio State.
There's a lot of things that happened that year that go into why 2012 was such an amazing season. And just thinking about it by an entertainment factor, the storylines between Manti Te'o and Johnny Manziel alone are top tier entertainment. We have not seen anything remotely close on that. And I'm not saying that we will ever see somebody have a fake girlfriend again in college football.
I think it's going to be really hard to top.
That cannot get topped.
A Manti Te'o, Johnny Manziel, like Heisman storyline race. It's hard. Like,
now, I'm trying to remember, was Manti Te'o's fake girlfriend stuff coming out when the Heisman was going to be announced, or was it post?
I
think it was during, right? It
was
like before/during.
It was either literally like 4 days before the Heisman ceremony or like a week before the Natty. I forget when, but it was around that time. Because I remember like in around October, November, ESPN was airing like how she had died and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
the diverging storylines between Manti Te'o's passing away, and that's why he's had this Heisman season, and the other one being Johnny Manziel and him literally partying and spending money and getting money illegally. Honest,
if we're going to be technically correct, the whole Johnny Manziel like off-field antics didn't begin until like the day after the Heisman ceremony. But like,
well, there had been circulation
itself. Yeah, but for that season itself, nobody could shut up about Manti. Nobody could. Everything was Manti Te'o, and still fuck Ohio State for their players getting tattoos. But Manti Te'o, fuck Ohio State. That was the news cycle.
So now,
but 2013 is where now
shit got real.
Johnny Manziel, shithead. Johnny Manziel, shithead. Johnny Manziel, shithead.
Let's get in.
Guy's pretty good at.
Let's get into the doc.
But Manziel, shithead.
Let's get into the doc. You have not seen this. You have some knowledge, but you have not seen the documentary. So, I have, because unlike you, when the unnamed intern sends me homework, I do my homework.
Yeah. I got to work on that.
In the documentary, the biggest thing that
last night, had to watch the Dodger game.
Yeah, that was the other homework. To be fair, I didn't get all of it done. The bigger thing that we were talking about was there's so many moving parts on the amount of just random bullshit that occurred for Johnny Manziel to have money, to have all this stuff. The funniest thing, one, everybody was like thinking at this time that Johnny Manziel's family was super rich, wealthy, whatever. Lo and behold,
that's the big thing.
Yeah. Lo and behold, Johnny Manziel, all a cover up. Johnny Manziel basically said that his family was an oil, like money family, oil tycoon family. So all the money that he's been spending on courtside seats, on all this other stuff, was because his family came from money. And then the better part is, so that he could spend said money without the NCAA being like, what the fuck? He sent his grandfather a check, or gave his grandfather money. Okay. And his grandfather then wrote him a check for the exact amount of money that he gave him. So it got funneled through the family back to him, so that it could look like, like my grandpa's just giving me money for the semester or whatever to do stuff. And then he just wouldn't spend the money.
Okay. I see now. Okay. So this is just one thing I just want to highlight. But so
also, sorry, real quick. I'm just reading this now. This is a tweet.
Actually, what you were saying before, like I might have just confirmed it, because I have confirmation that Johnny Manziel began signing autographs for money literally the month after winning the Heisman. Literally the month after.
But here's the thing. I'm just reading this tweet that I have up here right now. This is hilarious, and this is a great point. Think about how awful.
I think I just found something very interesting, but go on.
How awful the media research teams in
Yeah,
2012
that's what I
were
want to bring up.
to have Johnny Manziel and Manti Te'o be the 1 and 2 Heisman favorites. And both of them have severe issues surrounding their whole storyline.
Their major storylines were all just fake. This is why I think it's so funny to be a capital J journalist in this day and age. You don't actually need to do any fucking fact checking. It's, can you get the clicks? Can you get the headlines? That's what it's all about now, and for good reason, not gonna lie. Because I mean, shit, who would be reading articles if it didn't have a catchy headline? Like, I get it. But could you imagine how much more numbies you would do if you announced that breaking news, Johnny Manziel isn't rich? You know how many more clicks you would have got breaking that story? Whoever broke Manti Te'o's girlfriend is fake, that was the winner of the story.
Did you watch the Manti Te'o documentary?
Yeah, I did see that.
So I don't remember the dude's name, but yeah. You know, I both know who we're talking about.
I think.
That was, no, that's the chick. Or the person.
Well, who are you?
The guy who broke the story on like the low level.
Oh, I forget his name. Oh,
yeah.
But like that guy, that was the winner. He won. So it's like, if just any of these journalists just shit, remove yourself from the work mode. Just look at the story. Just as
you know who's the real villain actually in all this? The NCAA.
Kevin Sumlin. Oh, okay.
The NCAA. If the NCAA doesn't profit off of Manziel's jerseys being sold without his name, without the whole idea of no pay for play, all that stuff, if they paid some of their players, like instead of making the NCAA making $45 million off of Johnny Manziel's likeness and imagery, if Johnny Manziel made some of that money, none of this stuff probably becomes an issue. Hopefully. I don't know about the partying aspect, but at least the legality stuff is
I would also just say, though, just like from just the perspective of just any person that is just now the starting quarterback for a top Power 5 program as a redshirt freshman, regardless who you are, maybe not Andrew Luck, but wouldn't surprise me if T-Law was going hard his freshman year after he won the Natty as a freshman. Oh, that was probably the biggest bender of Clemson history. But like Johnny Manziel, like I could see it in him. Baker, we did see it with him getting arrested and shit, where he's got a little dog in him. Like you could just see some frat behavior out of them. And for Johnny Manziel, this is really what is interesting to me. I did not know this was the case, but like it was announced that he was signing autographs for money in January 2013. On August 28th, 2013, the NCAA reached an agreement with Texas A&M, indicating that it was Texas A&M that brought this up, like the potential one I'm about to bring up to the NCAA.
Wait. So Texas A&M took out their own guy.
No. Well, so for NCAA violations and shit, one way that you can like kind of reduce your suspension is if you self-report it and like say like we're gonna suspend our own player, yada yada. So like Ohio State with their Urban Meyer shit, they were like, we're gonna suspend Urban for 3 games. Like Ohio State was like, we're gonna do that so the NCAA doesn't have to do their own thing. So Texas A&M, they were gonna do the same thing, and like if we do something about Manziel, like as a school, the NCAA won't come down on us. So Texas A&M brought up to the NCAA, Johnny Manziel for signing autographs for money, which is an offense that literally got Jim Tressel fired from Ohio State 2 years prior, and Terrell Pryor, DeVere Posey, Dan Herron essentially excommunicated from college football just 2 years prior. Texas A&M admits that Johnny Manziel was signing autographs for money to the NCAA, and they decided that a half-game suspension for the first half against Rice was a serviceable punishment. When Ohio State literally had their head coach fired and their 4-star players suspended for the start of the season for the same thing. Make that make sense. Make that make sense, please. Like I'm genuinely serious. Like
Johnny Manziel just good for the NCAA. So
well, and it's the SEC. they need to protect the SC, that those are their money grabs. According to the NCAA, they quote acknowledge that Manziel did not receive any money for the autographs, which we clearly know is false.
That is why that is how we got around it, was him saying that his family was the money tycoons, because the whole issue, the first thing that leaked was a picture of him signing stuff, which obviously is a problem.
I'm saying this pisses me off because the NCAA didn't investigate it. They were like, they did come from his grandpa.
They did, but like they wired the money and stuff around so that it looked like they couldn't. I mean, there was some stuff. You watch the documentary, you'll
have to. But it's just, I'm just saying, like, damn, they really just let that just happen. Like,
also favorite thing, by the way. Favorite thing
ever.
Johnny Manziel came off a 2-day bender. By the way, he skipped like, I don't know, solid 3/4. No. You'll see what see what I'm saying in just a second. 3/4, like he like skipped like 3/4 of the practices being with. All right. My favorite thing is
or the Browns.
For A&M, not the Browns. He skipped like 3/4 of them. He just didn't show up because he thought it was too good. My favorite thing is thinking about all this stuff that's come out of this. The notorious Alabama game that happened.
Oh wait, I'm actually really curious what he said about that.
He didn't say anything about the Alabama game.
Oh, okay.
But just
if he said he didn't watch tape, nah, he's lying. There's no way he was being that Bama too without watching tape. He had to have. There's no way.
They talked about the Bama game. Actually, no. This is from the Bama game. They did talk about it.
Because that was the
Johnny Manziel for walkthroughs. All right, he showed up for walkthroughs, hungover, brutally hungover.
Bama week
walkthroughs, brutally hungover. Walks into Tuscaloosa, wins and rubs it. Just thinking about the fact that he rubbed in Nick Saban's face, and he's probably coming off a 3-4 day bender, and that still is the case. Like, oh my God.
Well,
oh my Lord.
There's a famous play from that game where Johnny Manziel, he bobbles the snap, catches it over his head, runs around. Yeah, he was hungover. That definitely adds up now. Like,
oh my God.
It wasn't like an unathletic play. It was just like his coordination and hand-eye is just off right now. Let's
say hypothetically, there are no off the field issues heard about with Johnny Manziel, right? Let's say that hypothetically in a world that's not the case. Just by watching some of this film that they used and just plays, if I'm a team, if I'm a GM, there is no reason in my mind that I'm still drafting Johnny Manziel in the first round, because he's an athlete, right? He runs, whatever. The throwing mechanics,
to Skip Bayless, that was the pick of the draft, and
the throwing mechanics that Johnny Manziel has or had are some of the most disgusting things that I have seen.
Oh shit, I did not know you were going to give us a George Whitfield quarterback mechanic breakdown, but let's hear it.
It's just it's not loose. It's just like it's not loose. It just looks like
it looks stiff.
Looks a little stiff. It looks like there's not as much like oomph, not as much
When
power.
I say mechanical here, I mean it doesn't look smooth. It looks like he's actively
like
trying to do specific things.
It's in that shoulder right there.
Like it in my opinion, like the one thing about Johnny Manziel, like when I was watching, I mean, keep in mind I was 10 when Johnny Manziel was doing this, so like my ideas of football weren't really put together.
Literally 10 years ago.
But like Johnny Manziel would just be running around and like he'd just be avoiding sacks, extending plays, and like he had a Mike Evans, so take it with a grain of salt, but like throw that shit up to Mike, touchdown, just like over and over.
He just also wasn't accurate in my mind from what I've just seen. It's just not super accurate.
He was like pretty accurate on his short ball, like the deep ball.
The deep balls.
Shit, like how bad is it?
The deep balls are what my concern.
But the thing with him though is that like the way his game kind of worked and like how he was able to extend plays and like kind of have those short to medium range passing games and get those extra yards. Like, I'm not saying he would have been a great NFL, but like I would literally comp him to like just a really good Trace McSorley. Like, honestly, I'm not trying to disrespect Johnny Manziel here, but like
you're not. But also,
like
my
player comp I
shouldn't be a first round pick. And on top of that,
no.
I know he would have been a very good backup.
Like he could pull some Heineke shit,
Yeah, he also was He kind of had the Baker
So
vibes going.
disrespectful, but I mean, it's
He kind of had the Baker vibes,
him.
like, or Baker kind of had the Johnny Manziel vibes, not by the parting issues, but like the kind of play style
mentality.
mentality.
I'm just talking like I'm literally saying like how they acted on the field. Like Johnny Manziel is sophomore year, scored a touchdown. Money Manziel, Baker scores touchdowns doing crotch grabs over the Kansas sideline. Yeah, like they're emotional players, which I don't necessarily have a problem with. Tom Brady's a very emotional player, but people don't highlight that. So
okay, let's get into the NFL now, and we'll wrap up here with this segment. First,
and biggest, I kind of got some big news
for the NFL.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, not actually. Marlon Mack,
is this about a player?
James Conner, RB.
Yeah. Marlon Mack tore his ACL.
Wow.
Unfortunate.
That is a redraft fantasy. If that's your RB2, I'm feeling great. Go hard on the receivers, boys. Go hard. Take James Conner round 7. I think he'll fall.
You still know how I feel about James Conner, so.
But just for your RB2, it's just the volume we're looking at, Everett. It's just the volume we're looking at.
True.
I know he's not as talented as other guys, but he's the only guy in Arizona. So
is Eno Benjamin not there anymore?
If he is, I don't care. That's still all Connor.
Fair point. Okay, so the big thing that I wanted to start off with and I wanted to talk about is it's the preseason. It's the official week of the start of the football season, which means inevitably next week I will be pulling some major shit out of my ass. I'll find some way to talk about some preseason game stuff, especially the Vikings. But with the preseason, the longest win streak in NFL history, or not NFL history, but is it NFL history?
I mean, it might be.
Yeah, it is.
Well, technically, no team's ever gone on. So
this is an NFL record. All right, the biggest, longest win streak in NFL history is at risk of ending with every preseason game this year. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the Baltimore Ravens have a 23-game win streak in the preseason, all right? They're currently scheduled to play the Eagles, at the Commanders, and at the Bucs in the preseason, okay? Now, I don't know how I feel, but the Bucs, easy win. Easy preseason win. I feel fine
Eagles,
about that.
Is their starter going to be, who's their backup? I forgot. It's a new guy, right? It's not a Gardner.
It's Mariota. Tyler Huntley, Mariota.
Huntley,
show.
Let's see it.
People wanted him on the backup. I think there's the backups list. They wanted him on the backups list. He was not on the backups list. So if you want him, he's got to prove it to me versus Mariota. I'm not gonna lie. Out of those three, the things that I'm the most scared of out of that for my matchups for this streak are the Georgia Eagles, because they have a lot of depth, and FedEx Field.
Yeah, FedEx
Field might be the biggest problem out of all of this.
Who's the Washington football team's backup quarterback though?
Well, it's the issue is they're in a QB
gone.
They're in a QB competition though. It's Sam Howell.
Oh, Sam Howell will start that game though.
It's Jacoby Brissett. Now you know why I said it's the QB competition.
Yeah, fuck. I can't believe I'm saying it, but I really do think that Ron Rivera will 100% start Jacoby Brissett. So the enemy, though, he might have different ideas. We'll see.
Yeah, now, the enemy being the field, by the way. The enemy is the field.
I haven't really quite read up on this, but isn't Riverboat Ron and Bieniemy having some beef right now?
Oh, you said Bieniemy. I thought you said the enemy, and why I said the enemy.
Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah, the enemy. The enemy is FedEx Field. The turf. No, the enemy is the turf.
No, I know, but is Bieniemy the enemy right now?
Apparently.
I haven't exactly read up on this, to be completely honest.
Well, so the big thing was there were some players complaining about the Bieniemy's coaching style and the harshness of which he coaches. And everybody in the Chiefs were like, dude, literally shut up. He's going to make your career change for the better. Then all you got to do is just suck it up and just work through it. It's almost like you're getting paid millions of dollars to try and better yourself through coaching.
No, true. I can understand though that like
no, some coaching styles are tough. I get
it. Yeah, and like I mean, I can understand that. Like, I mean, I don't know, but like there could be guys on the football team right now. We're not using the C word anymore, but there could be players on the football team that are like, all right, Bieniemy, like you were under Andy Reid and you had Mahomes. Like I don't really value your like credibility.
I also would just, I mean, like obviously Andy Reid was like the main guy, and that could be partially why we never heard about anything if there were problems with Eric Bieniemy. But
if I'm correct, I think like Mahomes and Bieniemy were beefing like going into last season or two.
I think there was something about that. Yeah,
I remember some Bieniemy.
But also, what I will say, I mean, maybe Bieniemy is being harder because this is like now for his like head coaching job. Like he's trying to show everybody. I can understand,
and he might be under the impression that the Commanders might need some more leadership, and that he needs.
I mean, let's be honest, they definitely do.
Yeah,
so. They do. But I can't say that people complaining about his coaching style is good for him for head coaching jobs.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not a good look. It's just not a good, that's not good press you want out there. You don't want that going around.
With that said, though, let's assume everything's good. They figure it out. Okay. I personally think that Bieniemy did have a decent part in the development of the Chiefs offense and Patrick Mahomes. I'm expecting the implementation of his offense at Chicago, or not Chicago, God, fuck, not Chicago, for the Washington football team, to have a massive impact on hopefully Sam Howell, Terry, and I think
Watson even
tight ends specifically too. Not Logan Thomas, but Cole Turner.
Not Logan, no.
Not Logan, but Cole Turner. Hopefully, because I mean, I'm a dynasty owner of him, but
I mean, another thing I'm thinking, like Brian Robinson, I think they confirmed like he will be their early down back, and I think they said Gibson will be that receiving down back. Do I have that right?
Yes.
So like something that, I mean, it's not like I feel safe like keeping them, but like from a fantasy outlook, like in a PPR format, Gibson could put up some solid RB2 numbers, or like maybe even a little flex.
What I will say, and I'm calling out one specific person in our league. Well, that's the case. Starting both Gibson and Brian Robinson is probably not ideal.
Like if there were going to be any running back like handcuff lists where I feel comfortable starting both, I mean, the short answer is none, but like
it'd have to be by a committee, and it would probably, if it was last year, the comparison, assuming Zeke was good, it'd probably be Zeke and Pollard.
Yeah. For last year, but I mean, even then, like Zeke, I'm not even
not good.
Those points, I'd rather go somewhere else.
This year, I probably would be either James Cook and Damian Harris, or the Pats. Who's the
I really think that they're going to try to get another bell cow back, because I was reading some things. Ramondre Stevenson, like the only reason Ramondre Stevenson got all those touches because Damian Harris got hurt, and at the end of the year, Ramondre said like that was too fucking much. He was like, I cannot do that year in, year out.
I think I'm gonna be honest. You want to know who I think they signed?
Well, the rumor has been Zeke, but what do you think?
Playoff Lenny.
I'd actually love that.
That'd be great, right?
I'm kind of
he's perfect for it
because he's a great pass catcher. Like I'm kind of shocked Lenny hasn't been signed anywhere yet.
He's perfect for it too.
If he went to the Vikings, I'd be hyped on that if I were you. Getting Lenny for just 1 year.
I'm going to be completely honest. I am not going to be hyped if we sign anybody. I actually would rather not sign anyone at all.
You rocking with Madison, and
I would like to rock with the trio that we have. Quadruplet. What the fuck is it?
Okay, actually, I have my answer. The number one RB committee I'd start is David Montgomery and Gibbs. That's number one in my opinion.
Or our Saints with Kamara and Williams.
I like that a lot too. I do feel as if though that from
a Jamal
Williams, David Montgomery comparison, like I think David Montgomery will outperform Jamal Williams next year.
If it works out to Kareem Hunt and Jamal Williams.
Jamal Williams?
Yeah, for the Saints, if Kareem Hunt goes aside to the Saints.
Oh shit. Yeah, I mean that is a rumor. I mean, if like let's say Jonathan Taylor were to say, we can slightly talk about Kareem Hunt for a little bit. If Jonathan Taylor were to stay on the Colts and Kareem Hunt goes there, like Kareem Hunt's not touching the field. Like Jonathan Taylor's still the every down back. Like I think if Kareem Hunt goes there, that Jonathan Taylor could be on the way out. I don't know. I still don't think it's going to happen.
If it was anything, he'd be getting traded for assets. But considering most teams, I mean, like they said, they don't want to trade him because they don't get. They're not going to get enough. Teams aren't going to give them for what they want, and they don't want to sign him because they don't want to pay him. Yeah. They're not going to. I mean, it's just not going to happen. They just might have. They're trying to be like, hey, we're signing him, so if you hold out, we're fine. And they're going to probably try and strong. That's probably what the move is right now. So they're strong arming JT into being like, yeah. Like I guess fuck, I have to play. But
yeah.
Hey, last time somebody held out and went to a new team, it destroyed the entire RB market, and that's why we're in the spot we are now. So JT, hopefully you don't fuck it up again. All right, we're gonna end the episode here with surprising keeps and cuts. I have two for the day. Your boys, the Chargers.
Now you were bringing this. I could be wrong. I think I may have or maybe it was projected playing time changes. I feel like I may have done something for the Chargers, but
you did projected playing time.
Yeah, I just have playing time changes. So I'm interested in this.
So I'm not going to tell you which section it is, but I need you to clarify how I pronunciate this guy's name. All right. Okay. Is it Dean Leonard? Deanne Leonard?
All right, this is something that I have qualms with myself. Now,
do you know who I'm talking about?
I have his Deane.
Yes.
Give me 3 seconds. I'll figure it. Oh, here we go. I'm about to get it. Come on, Ole Miss Athletics. You better have the fucking little button.
It's always somewhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I do not know how to pronounce his name.
Dane. This is the biggest part of our job is actually learning how to pronunciate guys' names. So.
I don't know. Let's do Deanne. I highly doubt it's this, but maybe it's just Dion. I don't know.
With an A?
I don't know. I do not know, dude. I don't know.
I'm gonna say Deanne. Okay. All right. Here we go. Surprising keeps and cuts for the Chargers. Keep Max Duggan, John Hightower, Deanne Leonard, and Kenneth Murray. And cut Dustin Hopkins, Jalen Guyton, Trey McKitty, and Chris Rumph. How we feeling about that?
The McKitty, you know what? Not that fucking against it, to be completely honest. Like last year, McKitty had so many snaps because Parham was hurt. He sucks. All right. McKitty's just not a great
not good
and option, where I'm not a fan of him. I think in terms of the rest of the series, Rumph is a guy that I'm not very high on. I'm not sure how much of an outlook he'll have. If he is cut though, correct me if I'm wrong. According to my knowledge, he is the only backup weak side outside linebacker.
No, he's not.
Is he not?
He's like the third string right now.
Really? Oh. Well, you don't have it in front of you, but they might have Tui Peloto listed as.
They do.
We'll see. I just think like Rumph, in my opinion, is the nice little Khalil Mack backup, or Khalil Mack backup, because we play Mack on the weak side and Bosa on the strong side. Even though
this has it flipped, Most is on weak side, Mack's on strong side. But I guess Rumph.
That's
Rumph
what
is the
I
two.
think it should.
Rumph is the 2 on the strong side.
Like last year, what they were doing, they were having Mac play weak side and Joey play strong side, which I think should be flipped. But yeah,
Everyone
like
does it too.
Rumph, I'm not the biggest fan of. Hopkins, I think he will be gone. What was the other Guyton?
Jalen
Now, this
Guyton.
thing about Guyton, like, if our 4th-round pick from TCU, I'm blanking on his name right now. Darius, is it Darius?
From TCU. Oh, I know who you're talking about, the corner.
I'm forgetting our 4th-round pick. He's like the 5'10", 4'3" punt returner guy we took. If he can show that he can be like a stretch the field type receiver and actually show his worth, then yeah, I could definitely see Guyton getting cut. In my opinion, though, I'm not sure if he will be able to like fulfill. Like, I'm not saying Guyton's on the field every down, but like as of right now, we maybe Quentin Johnson. Some people might think that. I don't think so, but I don't think
All
we
right,
have any guys who can stretch the field.
I'm gonna move us into this last list so we can wrap the episode up. We are on some time constraints today. Final list is Packers surprising keeps and cuts. Here we go. Oh my lord. Keep Dontavian Wicks, Deuce Watts, Alex Magoo, Eric Wilson, and Tyler Goodson. Cut Tarvarius Moore and Corey Ballantyne, and trade Preston Smith and AJ Dillon.
So I actually am kind of interested in that AJ Dillon trade. I kind of think that would be a good idea, and Preston Smith too.
Let's also keep in mind
squeeze out some.
Preston Smith has a high cap number, but also we're rebuilding. He's an aging player, aging contract. It doesn't make sense. If they think that they're going to compete, then they're going to keep him. It's all hypothetical here. This is all based on possibilities. It's not saying this will happen. AJ Dillon, though, 1 year left, final year of his contract this year. Second string. I know that they're a great tandem, whatever, but second string, some team will probably
I'm kind of for that.
Pay a high price for it. You still have Aaron Jones be a prominent back, and you have a couple good, like Tyler Goodson's been doing well in camp. They'll have a couple running backs be able to fulfill that, maybe not the power back role, but still a role that will help the offense.
I could see him just keeping Dillon, just I don't know, make it a little bit easier on Jordan Love, just kind of having those running backs set, but I don't know.
Yeah, but also keep in mind the likelihood that they pay them next year is
no. Oh,
low.
God, no. AJ
so
Dillon
might as well get comp. Like, it's always my mindset. If I know that I'm not going to be paid by whatever, I'm getting comp. Unless if I'm competing,
like
that's
what the
one
Padres
thing.
should have done with Snell and fucking.
If I'm competing, that's one thing. But if not, get compensation. With that though, thank you guys so much for watching, listening, raise 5 stars. You can find us on Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, and on Instagram, brand new at the Waterboy Pod, at Waterboy Pod. Make sure to follow me and Grant on Twitter at Everett Stakes and at Waterboy Grant. We will be starting the live stream now on YouTube. We post TikToks every Tuesday to Sunday. We post shorts every Tuesday to Sunday. New episodes every Tuesday, Thursday on YouTube and all podcast platforms. Make sure you follow us where you can listen and hear and watch us. You do not want to miss it, especially going to NFL and college football season. If you do not know, if you are a new follower, I work for Tulane Football. We will be covering college football and all that kind of stuff. And with that, thank you guys so much. Waterboys out.
Shout out Blake Martinez for getting banned from selling Pokemon cards and retiring from the NFL to do it.